Here we have the inside of the Elddis Majestic 105. If we firstly come to the main control panel, we can firstly come to the master switch just here and turn the 12 volt on. You will now see up here that it's given us an indication of the condition of the leisure battery. We have the main entrance lights on and off just here, and then all of the other lights can be turned on and off on their own individual switches. Underneath that we then have the awning light on and off, water pump on and off. Whenever the pump is running, you will get a green illumination to just let you know. The red light will illuminate when your grey water tank needs emptying. Both the fresh and waste tanks have heaters, so if you are using the van in extremely cold climate, you can flick this one on here, and then if there is water in the tanks and the temperature outside is below 3-4 degrees, the tank heaters will then come on. To get a rough guide of how much water you have in your fresh tank, just press the water button just here and then go by the blue gauge underneath the voltmeter. Beneath the main control panel, we then have the control panel for the whale heating and hot water. If we start with the water heating, you'll see it's currently off, and as I begin to press the button, it will go over a series of icons until returning back to off. If we start with the first icon, which is a little snowflake, this is the boiler's frost protection mode. So if you have water in the boiler but you don't necessarily want to be heating it, you can leave it on this one here, and then again if the temperature outside drops below 3-4 degrees, it will just come on to prevent frost damage. We then have a single wavy line. Wavy lines represent mains electricity, and I always round it up, so I class that as about 1 kilowatt. Two wavy lines, 2 kilowatts. If you don't have any mains at all, you can run on your gas supply, and what you can also do if you have both power sources available to you is running dual fuel, so a mixture of gas and mains at 1 and a mixture of gas and mains at 2. Extremely handy, especially in the winter months if you want to get hot water extremely quickly, or if you just want a longer shower. Whenever the unit is consuming gas, you will get a little flame just here. And if there's a problem in any way, so let's say we don't have any mains connected or the gas isn't turned on, we're going to get a little red exclamation mark just appear here. To find out exactly what the problem is, hold down the tap button and you will get a series of little red lights appear, and then depending on how many, if you look in the instruction manual, it will exactly tell you what the problem is. If you think you've rectified the problem, you will need to reset the control panel. So if it's a hot water issue and you've got a red exclamation mark here, just hold the tap down and then press the plus button together. And if it's a heating issue, hold the heating button down and then press the plus button together. As you can see, we are now consuming gas, and then I'll return it back to off. The heating works very similar, so again, icons until we go back to off. First icon, wavy line, yes, again mains electricity, but this time at about 500 watts. Two wavy lines, about 1 kilowatt. Three wavy lines, 2 kilowatts. Gas on its own, and then dual fuel mode again. Control the temperature on the plus and the minus. Whale recommend, if you need your heating on at night, to drop the thermostat down to this little moon. One, the temperature isn't overly hot, but secondly, it will keep the fan a lot quieter. And if it is just a hot day, you can just circulate the air just by dropping it onto the little picture of the snowflake. we have the awning winding handle just here. And if we now go underneath the bench seat just here, we will find the location for the boiler drain valve, which is just here. So at the moment the drain valve is in the closed position. When it comes to draining the boiler down for winterization, make sure the water pump has been turned off, and then come to this lever here and just twist it to the side. To refill, close back up again, fill up your fresh water tank, turn your water pump on, and then it will begin to prime the boiler back up again. You will need to open your taps up, etc., to basically force all the air out. Once they're running freely, then close back down again, and then the system will fully prime. On top of the actual boiler itself, you will see a little red button just here where my finger is. That is the boiler's hard reset. So if you do get the red exclamation mark and you've tried to reset it a few times and it's still coming back up again, you can always come to this point just here, press this a few times, and that will also clear it down. The space heater also has one, which is slightly more awkward to get to because it is just tucked down here where my finger is. You will need like a screwdriver or something like that just to go through the gap there, just to push it. It's basically situated just beside the multi-plugs that plug into the boiler itself. We have the gas isolation tap for the boiler just there. It is in the on position and it can stay like that. I always say that because they're more for maintenance than anything else. If you do smell gas in the van, it's always more advisable to just isolate the gas bottle itself. Next we have the Dometic fridge. We're currently in the off position. If we now twist, we're now running on main supply. After that we have a little picture of a battery, which is 12 volt maintain for when we're driving. This will keep the fridge cold whilst on the move. And then lastly we have gas. If we are going to use the fridge on gas, we then need to come across to the temperature control just here. We need to hold it in and then press the igniter, and what we want is this little white line to basically disappear and the red bit going into the green. Here we go. As soon as you turn it to something else, it will then automatically put itself back out again. To open the fridge, just push down here. We have the removable freezer box just here. And to vent it, when you're not using the fridge, just lightly push in on this part here and then slide out like so. And we can then hold the door on a jar. We have the microwave just here. It is advisable to remove contents for travel. This is an eco model, so you do need to press the eco button to wake it up. Then it behaves like any other microwave. You've got your quick start just here and stop. 10 minutes, 1 minute, 10 seconds. Auto cook, power settings, etc. just there. The microwave is plugged in just in the overhead locker just here. In the other one we then have cup holder and plate holder. Beneath we then have the 3 gas rings and the hot plate. The hot plate, like the microwave, will only work when hooked up to main supply, and operates on this one here. Red light comes on to let you know it's in operation. Everything else is gas, and it's push in, twist, and then come down to the igniter just here. That's one. Two. And three. Beneath, we then have the oven and the grill. For the oven, push in to the left. And the grill, push in to the right. Beneath the oven we have the rest of the gas isolation taps just here. Above my head we have the Omnivent fan. To operate this, firstly wind the roof vent up, and then middle button turns the unit on. And then we have arrows out for extraction, arrows in for cooling, variable fan speed just by pressing. Do make sure that all the roof vents are down for travel. Also in the roof we have the PIR sensor for the alarm, and the carbon monoxide alarm and smoke alarm. We have the TV bracket just here, aerial fly lead, 12 volt and main socket. If we now go into the wardrobe, we have the television aerial just here. So to use, undo the collar and then push the mast up and then get it into the position that you require and then lock into place. Do not over tighten these collars because you can split them. If you do need to do additional tuning, at the moment it's sitting in the horizontal position. What we can do is flip it on its side into the vertical, and that's just by turning the tail. The white box is the digital amplifier for the television aerial. Do make sure that it's switched on, and you can control the boost on the inner dial just here. Again, make sure that the aerial is down for travel. Next we have the solar panel regulator. It will smart charge both the leisure battery and the vehicle battery. Solid green lights mean the battery is fully charged. Flashing green light mean that it's being charged. And that's about as much as you really need to know. The only other thing you may need to do is occasionally get on the roof and clean the solar panel. We have the freestanding table just here. And if we now move into the washroom, we have the basin and the shower and the Thetford toilet just here. With the Thetford toilet, the bowl does slide about. Open to the cassette just here. Push to flush just on the top. A level indicator just here to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. Do make sure that the lever is closed, especially before removing the cassette from the outside, because if it's been left open, the cassette will not come out. The beds in the van can either be 2 singles or a double. If you're going to use the single bed option, you do need to rotate the seats around, like I've done already with the passenger seat just here. Then all we need to do is slightly pull out, drop down like so, and then you have a nice comfortable single, and we can then do it on the other side. If we're going to have it as a double bed, it is just a matter of pulling both across and then dropping in all of your cushions